It is Thursday, May 19th, 2011, and we are talking today about bug tracking databases. The position number 1 in my slideshow says QA department business systems. We discussed that in our very first session, and I want to remind you that each business has, or let's say should have, some business systems created and enforced. And when we answer the question why test if we cannot find all the bugs anyway and they cannot be fixed anyway, so we are saying, well, we are working on systems. That is the major focus, and systems will make sure the software is of a higher quality. You remember we talked about differences between software testing and software quality assurance. Software quality assurance is primarily about systems which produce quality software. What are the business systems of QA department? We talked about test planning, bug tracking, bug reporting, test automation, release certification, and could be many more. It depends on the department, its structure and goals and so on. Now, bug tracking databases are a part of the bug tracking system, which is one of the most important systems, and we will talk about it today. Position number 2 on that slide says all the bug reports and all the bug tracking systems are very similar. I'm not saying they are the same, but if you think about driving different cars, so if you drive Mercedes or you drive Toyota or you drive whatever car you might imagine, they are similar. They are not the same. Anytime I purchase a new car, it takes me a couple of days to get used to its dimensions and how it rides. But you know what? I still have same driver's license and I do not go to school to learn how to drive another car. Same story with bug tracking systems. Anytime you go to another company and you deal with another bug tracking system, it takes a few hours, maybe sometimes a couple of minutes, and you are okay. Bug reports. Writing bug reports. Why people submit bug reports? So they are fixed. They are getting fixed. I'll give you a story, a real life story. I was asked to refer a senior level person to a company, and I called one lady who I supposed was the right candidate. And she said, you know, Michael, you cannot really move me because I'm okay with the company where I worked, and where else can I get a job which doesn't require writing bug reports? And I said, wait a second, are you still in QA business? She says, absolutely. So you are not writing bug reports? No. But you find bugs? Yes. How many bugs do you find? She said, well, maybe 25 a day, 25 a day. So what do you do when you find a bug? She said, I go to developer and show him. Guys, there is no developer who wants to be that developer. You know, to be interrupted by someone, 20 times a day, it's a disaster. And I'm saying, okay, but let's say within a month you report, how many? 500 bugs. She said, yeah, easily. I'm saying, okay, how do you know they are fixed? She says, I remember. I'm saying, okay, but 6 months from there, after you reported 3,000 bugs, how do you know which one are fixed? She says, I remember. Guys, she doesn't remember 10% of them. So what they have is no system. Literally, I would say they do not test anything. They pretend they test. But there is no testing there. There are no basic systems in place. So why people write bug reports? To have bugs fixed. Is it enough to write a bug report? Not really. We have to track the bugs. That is why we need the bug tracking system. The next question here is, what makes a good bug report? We discussed that we have 11 rules of bug reporting, but let's see what the book says. The book says how to reproduce the bug. Okay. Analyze the problem to minimize number of steps to reproduce. Definitely you might look at same problem under different angles, and you might spend some time minimizing the number of steps to reproduce, because very often we encounter bugs by accident. We do something, then it happens, and say, wait a second, what is that just happened? And then you try to reproduce in your mind what you just did, and then eventually the problem, which might take maybe 10 steps, the way it really happened, could be brought down to maybe 3 steps or 4 steps if you analyze and spend your time on that. When you spend time doing that, you save lots of time to developer who will fix the bug. So good bug report is not excessive in number of steps, so it is minimized. Then complete, easy to understand, non-conflicted, I'm sorry, there is a misspelled word here. Sure, it should be complete and easy to understand and not contradictory to anything. Then, when should you write a bug report? If you think about yesterday's session, you remember we wrote bug reports which happen to be features sometimes. You know? We complain about features, or we have our own idea of things without looking at the requirements, and then we write a bug report, and, well, the answer says immediately upon identifying the bug. There are 2 extremes here. Extreme number 1, you postpone. You find the bug and you postpone writing the bug report. And let's say you postpone writing 10 bug reports today because you are doing different things, and you think, yeah, I'll do it later. Out of 10 bugs you didn't report, how many you will eventually report? Maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe 8, I don't know. Definitely not 10. So that is one extreme. You are missing very important information. As the company is missing that information, you are not submitting that. Another extreme is you write bug report on something which is not really a bug. What happens? Number 1, you just distract people, I mean developers, from doing what they are doing. Number 2, you discredit yourself as a professional. As a QA person, you are not supposed to do things without investigating what's right and what's not right. Obviously, each and every tester sometimes writes the bug report on which developer says it's a feature. It happens, guys. It does happen. It will happen to you. It happens to everybody. But if 50% or 70% of your bug reports are like that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lose that job because you cannot do that job. I mean, you are not able to. It is a part of the profession. You have to investigate what you report, and if you have any doubt, wait a little bit. Go and find out. Your job is to find out, not to report whatever just moves, in front of your eyes. Describe content of the bug report. It is a typical interview question, and it might come in different ways. There is the 5 most important fields of a bug report. Give me as many fields of bug report as you can, or something like that. What you have to understand, there are 5 fields which are critical to demonstrating your knowledge about bug reports. So short description is one. Steps to reproduce is another one. Severity, priority. We will talk about severity and priority and status. So severity, priority, status. And then we have many more fields. We have bug report ID, we have reported by, assigned to who, and dates, fixed, whatever, lots of fields, keywords, nodes. We will look at the bug reporting form, and there is one in your book, actually. So, 5 fields are critical to mention when it comes to the fields of the bug report. Short description, steps to reproduce, severity, priority, status. I've seen that same question given in a different form. It was asked if you are to keep just one field out of the entire bug report, what that field would be. That field would be steps to reproduce. The bug report is not going to be convenient to deal with, but at least it could be fixed. You remember, the ultimate goal is to fix the bug. Unless we have steps, we cannot fix it. Developer cannot reproduce it, and so then developer cannot fix it. We are looking at, I would say, very common considerations when it comes to interviewing. Now, bug reports name 4 levels of the seriousness of the problem. When you fill out a bug reporting form in the bug tracking system, so you have database application, you say new bug report, and then form opens, and in that form there is a field. It is going to be a list box, and in that list box normally you will see 4 items to choose from. So one is critical, another name for critical is fatal. And normally what falls into that category is when you get to the point of no return. No way to come back and continue a normal operation. So crash, system, well, application crashes. You have to start from, square one again. You cannot go back and kind of fix something. Data corruption. By the way, there is a provocative question like, in your mind, what is the most severe problem which might happen to software application? And people say crash. Guys, crash is nothing. Think about Microsoft Internet Explorer and how many times it crashes on you within 1 hour. Crash is nothing. Database corruption is a big deal. It might be worth of $1 million, to fix it, or worth of the data lost. System hangs. What do? You restart the system. So that is critical. And the formal definition of critical, which I want you to use if someone asks you, how do you know what's critical and what's serious? You see next to the word serious, second bullet, in brackets, it says work around. What's work around? Work around is what you get when you call customer support or technical support. You say, guys, I cannot do this. And they say, okay, do it this way, this way, this way, and finally you are done. So if there is no workaround, we have critical problem. That is a formal kind of definition. And again, you might go to 10 different companies and they might give you 10 different definitions. But that one is kind of common. And whatever their formula is going to be, but that is what's behind. What's behind. So how severe is that? No way to go. Well, critical. If there is a workaround, it's not that critical. It's serious now. Minor is a small thing. It's nice to fix, but if you don't fix it, it's okay. Suggestion or enhancement is not a bug at all. You do write bug report, but you do not complain about bug. Bug is a violation. Bug, as we define it, is a mismatch between expected behavior of a product and its actual behavior. There is no mismatch. You just want something to be added, some nice feature, some convenience. So that is suggestion. I can give you share a real life story which happened to me when I started to work for Lotus Development Corporation. It was morning, my first day, 8 a.m. And my manager, and I'm the only guy in the team, so manager and myself. And manager comes to me 8 a.m. and says, Michael, at noon I will be going for 2 weeks business trip. So you're going to be the only one, on the project. So any questions till I'm here? I'm saying, listen, let's take a look at the bug tracking system so I know how to use it. We go through the bug tracking system, and when it comes to severity, instead of 4, which I used to see before, it was just 8 digits. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm saying, listen, how would, no description, no explanation. I'm saying, listen, how would I decide what is 1, what is 2, what is 3? And he says, Michael, it's very simple. Whatever is not 1, 2, or 3 is not going to be fixed. So we come to 4 anyway. So it's very natural. I mean, there is very deep meaning, behind that. 4 level of seriousness: critical, fatal, serious. Question is how you decide if it is serious or critical. Critical means no workaround. If you have workaround, it's serious. There is one more thing I want to tell you here. There is a certain category of a critical bug, under category, subcategory. It's called showstopper. So what kind of show does it stop? Release. There are certain bugs of such a high severity that if that bug is there, we cannot release the software. No way we can send it to customers. So those bugs are called showstoppers. It's kind of slang. It's not in books or, but that is how it works. Sometimes they ask you question, what is the criteria for QA to certify release, certify software for being released. In the real world, the criteria is no showstopper bug. So what is the criteria for show? No showstoppers. Okay, just kind of cool. I think it's cool. We keep talking about bug reports and bug reporting forms, which are part of bug tracking system. So it says 3 levels of priority. Severity was how bad is the bug, how much trouble is behind. Priority is different. Priority is in which order the bug should be fixed. Severity is provided by a tester. So when you write a bug report, you say severity minor, severity serious, severity critical, enhancement. But when it comes to priority, it's not your business. Who assigns priority to the bug report? Someone who tells developers what to do. So someone who manages developers. And it would be a mistake if you say development manager or project manager do not come with an exact title. In some companies, in some teams, it's a project manager. In some companies and in some teams, it's a development manager. I worked for 6 companies myself, and in all 6 companies where I worked, it was a development manager. Lots of people tell me a project manager does that, or it doesn't fit into my understanding of the project manager job completely. But you know what? I've seen that in books, and the internet is full with stories like that. So I don't care. Really, the title is not important. Who assigns priority to the bug report? Someone who assigns job to developers, whatever the title in your company. We don't care. So testers do not assign priority. Testers assign severity. And the next question is a typical question. So who can assign or change severity or priority in a bug report? Tester assigns severity, and tester can change severity. Development or project manager assigns priority and can change priority. Guys, who cannot touch it is a developer. If you allow developers to change severity, priority, and status of a bug report, you're never going to have bug reports in your system. Maybe just a few. Okay, so that system is done to keep developers accountable. Okay, so and there are people who keep them accountable, not you. They have their own management. Why looking for most serious consequences of the bug? To assign higher severity, so it gets higher priority, so it gets fixed. When you write the bug report, guys, you really want it fixed. No matter if it is minor or serious or critical, you still want it fixed. Sometimes you might look at the same problem from different user standpoint. So you can speculate on how severe the problem is, pretending to be one type of a user or another type of a user. I remember my wife was testing security issues in credit card application. And she found a bug which was literally when you type password, it comes in, it comes in bullets. It should come. It should be hidden. But then, the text field which accepts password, should not allow user to copy or cut from that field. So copy and cut menu items on the drop-down menu are disabled. Should be disabled. In that specific case, copy menu item was not disabled. So she selected the bullets. She did copy, she did paste to Notepad. Guess what? She has a password. And she writes a bug report, and the title of the bug report was Security Breach, because people can steal password from the credit card account. Security breach. And then developer comes outraged, and developer says, what are you talking about? It's a minor graphic user interface bug. You have to say disable such and such menu item, and that's it. So if she reports that as a minor graphic user interface bug, the chances are it's never going to be fixed. She reports that as a critical security breach issue, and then, guys, it's going to be fixed. And all the management is looking and watching and making sure manager came because developer was arguing, developer was saying, what kind of bug is it? Imagine what should happen for the password to be stolen. Guys, this is the logic of a developer. He says, someone types in the password, does not push OK button, and goes somewhere. And that bad guy comes, sees that, copies, pastes, and steals the password. So development manager says, listen, obviously the probability of that is extremely low. But we have millions of customers. So even if it happens even once, it might be lots of money. And I mean, why in the world? And again, it is a violation of the rule. Even graphic user interface rule. Still it has to be fixed. That is the real example of the discussions and considerations given to one bug or another bug. So if you think in the terms of how different users might actually get in trouble as a result of this bug or that bug, so you are trying to find the worst possible case. So you can submit that bug report with the higher severity, so it gets higher priority. You have more chances it's going to be fixed. Why should tester look for simplest and most general conditions under which bug will be easily reproducible? Okay. So let's focus on the real question. So the question is, we might write a bug report, and the bug is going to be reproducible, but it might take lots of energy to understand what that bug is about. So the question is, why there is any value in writing a bug report in a simple and a very general way. I mean, general conditions. It's not like very special bug, which happens under very narrow conditions. The more general the conditions, the more value. Why? The easier it is to understand that bug report to developer, the better. Why? So first of all, when you see the problem, the first question you ask yourself, can I find another path, another sequence of steps or actions to reproduce exact same problem? Why we really want to do that? Because we have to think about the developer. Developer has certain limitations, time limitations, number one. Developer has a list of things to be fixed in his database, bug-taking database view. And if it is difficult to understand something, I would rather go to another bug. I can fix it. Spending that same amount of time, I can fix 3 bugs instead of 1. Guys, I want 3 bugs, not 1. So if it looks difficult to understand, if it looks kind of sophisticated and time-consuming stuff, developer is likely to move to another problem, which is easier.